everybody, this is Christy and I am a Sherri Baldys Color-ology designer here on YouTube, and I want to share with you some shading around the outside of your image. And this image is image number 694. I'll put a link to it below, and I'll also have the image number up here on the screen as well. And for this specific image, I wanted to have kind of a shading of light blue around her. Sometimes I do gray, but I wanted, for this one particularly, kind of a light blue background around her. And so I'm going to pick two colors, and I'll also put those above in the screen so you can, and they'll also be in the description box below as well. But I have B000 and B000, and I also have my Colorless Blender here as well. And I like to do this before I color, just because it, sometimes after you've colored, if you try to go in and color after the fact, you can kind of mess things up. And also, you can use your Colorless Blender and blend over your image and pull out. And then that way, your Colorless Blender, it's not gonna do anything to your image. And then when you go and color over everything, it works absolutely perfectly. So I'm going to start with my B000, and we'll start here at the top of her head. And I'm just going to flick outwards. And I'm just going to work myself around the outside of my image. And I'm going to try to avoid bringing any color onto the coloring surface. Okay, and I'm going to work in little sections. So I've got some there. Now I want to go over with my B000, and I'm going to go over that and just pulling out. And always remember with your Copic markers, as you allow your inks to dry, they lighten up. All right, so I have that. And then what I want to do is I want to take my Colorless Blender, and I'm just going to swipe over that. And I'm starting on the colored image, and I'm pulling out. And you may say, oh my gosh, it kind of looks funny, but it will dry, and it'll dry perfectly clear. And then that'll just give us this perfect little light blue around her, which I love. And so I'm going to go ahead and speed up the rest of this, and I'm going to continue around, alternating between my B000 and my B000, and then we'll come back at the end. allowed this to sit just for about 5 minutes, just so I knew everything was dry so that you could see the actual color, because it does lighten up as it sits. And I also wanted to say another thing too about doing it before you color is that if you do get anything inside your coloring area, you can just hit it with your Colorless Blender, push it down, and then once it dries, you'll be none the wiser as you're coloring over your image. So I also wanted to say that I do use a couple other combinations. I do some of the light warm grays, so 00, 000, W1, W1, W0, and W00. And then sometimes I do use the 000, kind of depending on how light or how dark you're wanting to go or how much shadow you're wanting, so that you kind of have to play with it and see. But those are the 4 that I usually use in that color group. And then I also do the neutral grays, and it's the same thing where I'll use 000, 00, 0, and 1. So those are N1, N0, 00, and 000. And again, you just want to play with what works for you. And you can even go down lighter in those, the warm gray and the neutral gray. So you could go down to the quadruple 0 as well. But I really love how this looks, and it just adds a lot after you've finished coloring. It just turns out really great. So stay tuned. Next week I should have a project ready for you with this super sweet image. And check out the links below. We'd love to have you follow along with us, and there will be links to the shop and the Facebook group as well. And I hope that you guys all have a wonderful evening and happy crafting. Bye-bye.